Hello everybody and welcome to the Witch's Gaze, the Vanishing Village. In this game we will be embarking on a mythical quest that blends Slavic folklore with arcane witchcraft. We will uncover the hidden secrets and rescue a village lost in the shadows, using magical detective work in this visual novel. Oh, and of course we should never forget our cat, as he will probably save our life, if he feels like it. We'll see. Aside from that, before we jump into the game, let's do a quick pass at the options menu, just so you guys can see. It's fairly bare-boned. There's nothing that was particularly special. As only English, we can... Yeah, there's not a lot to go for here. When it comes to text, we're obviously going to be doing a lot of reading. And sound-wise here, so... Without much further ado, let's jump into the game, shall we? Finally! For years I've studied witchcraft, herbalism, and potioncraft under the renowned Baba Yaga. My mentor sent me to investigate Winery, a village that suddenly fell completely silent. She couldn't see it in her scrying mirror, so she sent me instead. And if I succeed, it would mark the end of my apprenticeship. I never imagined I'd be sent on a solo mission. Hey! Well, not exactly a solo. I heard all of that, you know. Well, and once again, I have to play babysitter. Oh, isn't that kind of your job? That's exactly what you've been doing this whole time. I was learning for Yaga. Not by choice. I had my way. Oh, here he goes again. I'd be living in luxury somewhere warm. Or never. Or never ever would I touch Yaga's grimoire. And I'd know. And I'd know better than to accept that devilish contract. Promise to tell me the full story one day, remember? I remember. But for now, let's focus on the task at hand, shall we? Something made them both pause as they approached Winery Village. The sensation was almost electric, buzzing faintly in the air. The village itself was eerily silent, as all sound had been completely swallowed by the stillness. Do you feel that? Yeah, wait here. Hey, you can't. I can do that too. The cat moved forward, shifting the air and scanning the surroundings. Sense magic, with a subtle undertone. Like ash? Could be, but... Mjolnir jumped, his tail puffed up like a bottle brush. Who are you? I'm Slava, an apprentice witch at your service. There was something about the word witch that unsettled Sambor. A witch, you say? Is that a problem? Mjolnir stepped forward. Yeah, is that a problem? And a talking cat? Sambor looked mortified. Sir, we're here on a serious investigation, and... Okay, Sambor interrupted. And, if you're not willing to help... Okay, I'll do whatever I can. What? I was gone for a couple of hours. I just got back and the whole village seems to be gone. Just like that. Everyone. As if they vanished with a snap of fingers without a trace. My family. Sambor's voice broke. His composition crumbled as he reached out to Slava, summoning all his strength. Don't worry. That's why we're here. Exactly. Mjolnir glanced suspiciously at the man. If you help me find my family, then you can even be Vales himself. I don't care. You're lucky we're not. He's so boring. Like you ever met Vales? I doubt Vales has had time for someone like you. How do you know? I might have met Vales. You don't even know everything Yaga and I got up to before you joined us. Anyway, are you coming with us? Of course. I can't sit still while my people are in danger. The more the merrier. The unlike trio stepped into the village. The air felt cold, heavier. The once living settlement was eerily silent, its house dark and empty. A fog seemed to cling to their senses. Slava soon noticed anti-witch amulets hanging all over the doors. These charms were set to protect against the witch's gaze, though Slava knew it was nothing more than a clever seller's pitch. Let's not ask. Chose not to discuss the anti-witch trinkets. Sambo caught Slava's gaze, and his face immediately turned red. However, he stayed silent. Don't you have a herbalist here? We do. She's a grumpy auntie, but she was always there when someone was sick. Even though your people hate her? Hate? No, Dollar helped us so many times, and I am grateful, but not everyone here is so open-minded. Open-minded? I always tried to help Dollar when there was trouble. Does it change anything? Will you help? We were sent here to help, and we will, no matter what your people think. Exactly. Because that's what real witches do. They help. Silence was deafening. Well, this is awkward. I wonder what Yaga would actually do. Alright, let's go to the inn. Surely we'll find something there. You're right. The innkeeper usually keeps everything around here, so maybe we'll find a clue. Sambo went ahead. An inn? Shouldn't we go to the herbalist first? Just trust me. I'm a witch. What could go wrong? Famous last words. What? Nothing. Let's go. The inn looked frozen in time, platters of food still steaming and candles burning with unwavering flame casts an eerie unnatural glow. The air itself seemed heavily charged with unsettling magic. The main hall appeared as though the people had vanished in the middle of a late breakfast. Plates and cups sat untouched, and the polished bar gleamed with a single glass and a cloth left behind, as if the innkeeper had merely stepped away and could return at any moment. Towards the back of a side room stood with its door. Towards the back, a side room stood with its door slightly ajar. Apologies. The inn was eerily still. Where shall we look? Let's see. Checking the bar doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Look around the main hall first. Maybe we can check the side room after. Look around the main hall. The main hall looked like many others across the country. Its wooden floorboards were worn with use and age, and the lingering smell of food hung in the air, stubbornly refusing to fade. Mjolnir sniffed at one of the plates. It almost smells normal, but that ash-like scent is here too. Did you ever see or smell anything like this while serving Yaga? Foul magic can leave a scent like this. It's basic knowledge. Stopping time completely? Not really. Although one of Yaga's story is coming to mind. The one with the mice and the tower on the lake? No, not that one. I can't remember it now. The three of them continued searching the hall for several more minutes. What is this? Slava knelt down, examining a crescent-shaped mark on the floor. Curious. I think I saw something similar when we came in. It's just a floor mark. I'm not so sure. This is emanating something strange. I can't feel anything. That's because you have zero magical sensibility. I am sensitive. Not in the magic sense. Guys, let's move on. The inn was eerily still. Where shall we look? Alright. Well, we checked the main room, the main hall. Let's check the bar, and then we can do the side room, because it sort of like goes in steps. So let's check the bar. Old Jan kept his best ale for important people, but he wasn't so bad. He gifted me some, along with herbs, when my daughter was born. And he needed more of that? Under the bar there was a box filled with anti-witch amulets. I guess so. What's that? A book? He kept a record of who owed him money and how much. Looks like that wasn't all he wrote down. I didn't think witches could read. There's much you don't know about me. Witches are full of surprises, you know. One day we'll give you a potion. The next day we'll turn you into a frog. A frog? Don't worry. She can't do that. Yet. So what's written here? This month, Jan ordered more wine, the expensive kind. A more important guest, perhaps? Then he wrote, need new floorboards. And then, order more wine before it runs out. Cursed nobles. And there was indeed someone important. Who drank a lot, apparently. Sambo, have you seen anyone recently? No, but to be honest, I live on the other side of the village. I haven't been to the inn for about 2 weeks. And the floor here looks fine to me? Let's move on. The inn was eerily still. Where shall we look? Well, to the side room. The side room felt like a blend between an office and a private dining area, reserved for a special guest. A sturdy wooden table, surrounded by several chairs, stood atop a rich, deep-hued carpet. Papers cluttered the table and spilled into the floor. The furnishing and decor seemed out of place, as if this room didn't belong to the inn at all. What kind of people used to come here? Jan had an agreement with our lord. Sometimes he hosted guests here. Other times he would spend time alone. What kind of guests? Lately, mostly poor nobles. Before that, some old rugged vagabonds. Whatever our lord had going on, I stayed out of it. My mother used to say, sticking your nose in noble folks' business is sure way to find trouble. Yulnia gave him a long, thoughtful glance. I think your mother was a very smart woman. Why? Well, I knew someone who got tangled up in intrigue. Before he realized what had happened, he had to run. And how did it end? He was forced to turn to banditry, and then he died. In a way. Oh. Whatever. We got a job to do, right? Right. I won't be much help here. I'll go look around. Want to talk? No. All right, but I'm here if you need me. I know, and I appreciate it. The papers scattered around the room were disappointingly mundane. Tax records, bits of property, bits of poetry, and even a few attempts at philosophy. Look at this. We, the highborn, must be the protectors of lesser minds, incapable of fully perceiving the world. Nobles are nobles. Nothing ever changes under the sun. I'm starting to miss our chicken-legged hut. I have to agree with you there. Anyway, I don't think we'll find much here. Help! What's that? Be gone! Sambo! What happened? I think I saw a demon over there. Sambo pointed at an ornate cupboard, a strange shadow stretching unnaturally across the room. Are you sure? I swear. Such a big guy scared of a little shadow. A bear. I could fight, but a demon or an urpu here. No, thank you. I have a family to live for. I'll leave the supernatural stuff to you. So far, we've found very little information. Well, we know the innkeeper didn't like witches. That's strange, actually. Up until last year, Jan was quite friendly with our herbalist. What changed? No one knows. Their friendship just ended. Let's go outside. Whatever curse is at work here it's less irritating in the fresh air. Much better. Maybe those amulets really do work after all. Oh no. Should I toss them away? You would? Mjolnir grinned. Please do. I'm sure it'll help our investigation. Absolutely. Tambor paused and laughed. You won't fool me, Furball. It was worth a try. Guys, let's focus. I think we should head to the herbalist's house. We still have no idea what actually happened here. Alright, let's go then. Alright. The herbalist's house didn't stand out from the other homes except for the lush herb garden tucked beside it. Inside, the air was thick with some rich scent of dried herbs and the lingering aroma of incense. Bundles of plant hung from the ceiling, casting soft shadows in the dim light. I've never been here. I thought it would be more occult, full of dark magic. Yeah, maybe a familiar in the corner or like a broom moving on its own. Or a cage for kidnapped children. Very funny for a cat. And he wasn't always a cat, you know. That's right, I was a handsome. They had to contain it all in this little form. Against the side wall stood a cupboard that must have been where the herbalist's pantry. Its shelves were filled with jars and bundles of dried plant. Near the window a journal laid open. And on the side work table was an unfinished wreath. Let's check the cupboard. On the side stood a simple cupboard, stocked with jars, vials, while bundles of herbs hung from the ceiling. Shattered glass was scattered across the floor. Looks like it broke just before time stopped. The reagents have partially soaked into the floor. Mjolnir sniffed the mixture. It's rosemary, chamomile, silver leaf, and something I can't quite place. Neat? Mjolnir seemed pleased with praise. I know a few bombs and potions that use these ingredients, but without a precise recipe, it could be anything from atheist balm to digestion infusions, even a protector from all evil potion. Oh yeah, that is a good point. I think she's been visiting old Baba's house a lot recently, or Stienyo, but yeah, I cannot speak that language, so I have no idea what he's saying. Or Stienyo Poliskyor Jar plus, I don't know. That would mean atheist bomb. Do you remember anything else? Not really. Look, over here. Mjolnir carefully stepped over the broken glass. There are these crescent markings on the floor, just like the ones in the inn. Strange. I might have an idea. Maybe we'll find more clues. Against the side wall stood the same one. Let's check the journal. In the journal, Dola had written extensively about her current orders, who was in pain and how she would help them. Occasionally she complained about the overwhelming workload. Nothing how much she could use some assistance. At some point she began commenting on a shift in the village's attitude, and near the end is where the threats are mentioned. Who would threaten her? Maybe Wilk? But I don't know. I think he would actually... I don't actually think he'd do something like that. You'd be surprised at what humans are actually capable of when the time comes. Maybe. I'll make sure to teach my daughter and the other kids respect, not behavior like that. That's not all. Near the end, Dala mentioned seeing a lot of little devils, or Ipsies as they're called around here, circling the village. She felt something was bound to happen and wanted to be prepared. Ipsy? They usually work alone. This is interesting. The innkeeper is unusually stressed. How could this be related to Lord Twarski's guest? She didn't write much more, just get the thing from the Rusalak. Not very helpful, I mean. What is this thing? Against the side. Oh, okay. Let's check the work table. On the work table sat an unfinished project. A bundle of willow twigs, some carefully braided along with a scattering of herbs, a pinch of salt, and a carafee of moon water. The task had clearly been abandoned mid-process. I'm not sure about that. Willow will make a framework with a spell woven into it alongside magical ingredient. This isn't your usual simple stick witch sign. It's something she invented to suit her needs and circumstances, but I see there's an empty space as if she didn't have the last ingredient. I think you're right. Yaga told me once that even when I know all the basics, as long as I respect the craft, I'll be able to explore and intervene as it suits me. I think that's what she did here. Or invent as it suits me. Sorry, not intervene. Apologies. Could she be afraid of something? I mean, she did receive threats. And it does mention that there's been a shift in the village's attitude, so she could be afraid. There's a bunch of anti-witch amulets as well hanging around the village. So, yeah, she could definitely... And she's seen the Bipsies as well, so I would say it's highly likely. Otherwise, she wouldn't be preparing the wreath. I wish you finished the wreath on time, then maybe she would tell us herself what's going on here. Travel a lot before, Miumia. Do you remember anything that could be of use to us? Not really. I wasn't really involved with magic while I was still human. Was it painful to turn into a cat? No, it was terrifying. My entire life changed. My body changed. Everything I got used to. But eventually I got used to it. But I missed some part of my old life. Like the cities. That one girl who sold apples on the corner of Butcher Street. The lilacs near the church. Seems like simpler times. Yomi sighed and became serious. Unlikely for him. I miss it. How old were you then? I was in my teens, long before my friend was cast away from the city for something he didn't do, and all his life fell apart, the poor lad. But hey, it's all right now. We better help the people over here, shall we? What are your thoughts? She wrote something about little devils sneaking around. Could they leave crescent mark on the floor? They have hooves, so it is possible, but it's unusual. They don't just kidnap people. And that would mean something was brewing here, like she wrote in the journal. Also, she was already preparing for something, as you said. It's a pity she didn't finish the wreath on time. She could have given us more answers. I have an idea. Is there a crystal clear lake around? Yeah, there is. Why? I think that's where we can find more answers. She missed something that only a Ruslaka could give her. They might know something more. And also, water demons gossip like crazy. Exactly. Won't they, kidnap me? No, you're not that type. Why? I hate to admit it, but you seem to be a good man. A Ruslaka would rather eat someone less coppery, as makes them taste better. So they only eat evil people, apparently, or, people that have done bad things. Phew, that's good. The lake was quite a distance from the village of Winry. A narrow path woven down by the forest animals led to the shore. The pristine water reflected the rays of sunlight shimmering like glass. It felt as though you had suddenly stepped into an entirely different world. How are you gonna summon this, Ruslaka? I'm not sure. Let's take care of this. Call Ruslaka, sing for Ruslaka, or throw a rock into the water, then call. Let's try and sing. Slava's voice barely carried across the lake. A love song about weaving wreaths, the only one she could recall at the moment, was hardly fitting for the occasion. Ruslaka emerged from the lake with an angry splash, sending a wave that drenched Slava. Please don't ever sing, or at least go take some lessons. Where is Dola? She promised me something delightful. Please tell me it's not you two. The human reeks of goodness, and the furry one, not good. Lost its scraps of flavor 2 years ago. Mjolnir appeared visibly shocked. What do you mean? You've paid your penance, haven't you? 2 years ago? I suppose I'll need to bring this up with Baba Yaga carefully. Have you seen Dola, the herbalist, recently? It was like a paused, lost in thought. A few days ago, but you were supposed to come today. What did she want from you? My hair. She thought it might work as to repel against lesser demons. Somehow, they don't seem to like us. What happened to her? The entire village is gone, as if someone put a curse on the place. Oh no. Will you help us? I might, but my code demands you pay me with something nice first. A strong lad isn't my taste at all, but I and my sisters are famished. Give him to us and we'll drag him into the depths. You cannot be serious. If that's what it takes to get my little girl and wife back. No, don't. Take me then. Or, I don't know, I could talk to Baba Yaga on your behalf. Ruskla laughed. I was testing you, little cat. Don't worry, we won't eat you. My sisters still remember how you protected us while you were still human. The truth is, Dola is my friend, and I want her back, so listen carefully then. We didn't see anything, but the little devils have been unusually agitated lately. They whispered about their lord's arrival, poor things, and frantically tried to clean up their mess. Can you imagine? Their lord did arrive, but he didn't stop here. I believe he came from the crossroads and went straight into the village. A nobleman was visiting our lord not long ago. That wouldn't be unusual. Bipsies love to dress up as humans when they're doing business with them. Maybe. I don't care. But if that lord of yours had come to the lake, oh, his scent is divine. How so? Are you talking about his father? He was a real gem. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief when he finally passed away. Maybe. Most humans do look alike to me, but I think the young lord's scent also had the undertone we enjoy. If he ripened, oh, he'd be utterly delicious. Nobles usually are. Thank you. I wish I could be more helpful. When you find Dola, do tell her to visit me. Ruslaka leapt back into the lake. What do you think? I'm just glad she didn't eat me. I don't like this. Nobles are always bad news. One moment they act like they're your best friends, claiming to help, and the next they stab you in the back. The only noble around here is our lord, and his family name is Tadovsky. Tadovsky, wasn't his father a quartermaster in the army? A difficult man from what I've heard. It looks like we have no other choice. We have to check if he's been taken as well. I'll show you the way. Have you been there before? No, that's well beyond my place. I've never had any reasons to go there. We never asked too much of us, unlike some lords around here, and he didn't meddle in our daily lives. Alright, we'll go to his manor. Mjolnir wasn't himself. His ears dropped and his gaze was distant as if lost in thought. Are you alright? Not really. Listen, man. Sounds like you need to get something off your chest. Normally I'd say, let's grab a beer or two, but, well, you're a cat now, so that's not really an option. Agreed. This time, Mjolnir, you should tell us everything. You'll feel better. There isn't that much to tell, and I'd have to start from the beginning. I took one job too many. A shady gentleman promised me a hefty reward for stealing a little trinket from an old lady. Not just money, but also a chance to clear my name. I thought I could get my old life back. What he didn't tell me was that the old lady was Baba Yaga, and the trinket was her spellbook. She caught me in a trap. Well, the rest is kind of history. She said I'd remain a cat until the day I had fully atoned for my wrongdoings. It's been 10 years now. And now the Rustlaka tell me that I've already paid my debts. If that's true, then why hasn't Yaga lifted my curse? Maybe she's planning to do it after my apprenticeship? I wouldn't be so sure. I don't know what to say, but if we find everyone, you can come visit my wife, and we'll have a nice fish for you. Sambo's voice broke, and tears welled up in his eyes. And my little girl will stick to your side because she loves animals. I thank you. We'll find them. How old is she? 4 this year. I wish there were more people like you two. It's just like the village. It's so quiet. I think you can smell ash. You're right. It's even stronger here. That's not a good sign, is it? No. Let's take a closer look. The manor and the surrounding were eerily quiet. The owner clearly hadn't taken much care of the place. Some of the buildings showed sign of neglect, and the English garden was slowly being overtaken by nature. Search the building. Inside the manor, they found outdated furniture, simple wooden furniture riddled with mold, old hunting trophies gathering dust, and thousands of books scattered everywhere. It was clear someone had searched the manor thoroughly, but hadn't found what they were looking for. Drawers were left open, and piles of books were haphazardly shoved aside. He wasn't frugal with books. Let's see, philosophy, poetry, prose, and astronomy. This collection is worth more than my entire village. Let's go search the garden. The trio stepped outside into the garden. The English garden still bore trace of the careful hand that had once designed and nurtured it, but now it showed sign of neglect. Someone less skilled had made an effort to maintain it, but the original order was slowly unraveling. A narrow path wound its way further into a dense grove. Search more. The closer they came to the grove, the stronger the presence of the magic grew. I think we're on the right track. Tambor moved ahead of them. Alert, it was as if he expected something to jump out from the shadows, ready to defend them if needed. At the end of the path stood a small forester's lodge. Unassuming as it seemed, it radiated immense magic. I don't like this. What? It's just a creepy forester's hut. You're not sensitive to magic, as we are. It feels overwhelming, like breathing in too much smoke. Inside the forester's lodge didn't look particularly remarkable, but from the next room, likely a small sitting area, came a soft sound of humming. Into the room. A man sat in the chair with a book in his hand. Soft candlelight flickered in the candelabra. Evidence that time-stopping spell hadn't worked here. Protection amulets hung throughout the room, and sigils were drawn across the walls. You didn't seem to notice that you had entered. Are you Tadovsky? What? Who are you? The man jumped to his feet, clearly startled. Sambo instinctively retreated to the wall, as if subconsciously trying to blend into the shadows. Are you alright? Yes, still alive, thank you. The whole village of Winery has disappeared. Do you have any idea what happened? Poor villagers. I wasn't aware they had disappeared. Mjolnir sneezed. My studies has kept me here since yesterday evening, I believe. And what are you studying? This and that, a little astronomy. Mjolnir sneezed again. Tadovsky gave him a long, scrutinizing look before smiling faintly. And a little other thing, such as the demons of Western faith. Quite fascinating, really. Have you had guests recently? Yes, in fact, my guest brought me this book. I fear he might be the source of the recent trouble. What do you mean? It wasn't just a mere noble, oh no, it was the devil Borutha himself. He tempted me, claiming he possessed something that could grant me immense power. And, as they say, that a strong ruler makes for happy subjects, so I agreed. All I wanted was to ensure my subjects were happy and safe, here in the little peaceful haven I created. I signed the devil's contract in my own blood, but then he trapped me here. Apparently he took all the villagers too. Must have been hidden somewhere in the fine print. Tadovsky paused dramatically, letting the gravity of his words settle. I believe you could help me undo this horrible misunderstanding. What would you want from us? I can't do this myself as I'm trapped, so naturally I'll need you to save everyone, and of course I will reward you. But we're already... Hush! Let him speak. Let's see what he has to offer. I offer you as much gold as you weigh, and my undying gratitude. Believe me, the gratitude of a powerful mage could prove very useful. And for the furry friend over here, I have a special reward. You're not really a cat, are you? I could restore you to your true form. All you'd have to do is find and destroy the contract I signed. It should be in the inn, in what I call my office. We were so close to the source of this trouble. In the inn, we were just there, and I checked the papers. If they say Lorem Ipsum 3 times, it will reveal itself. I couldn't just leave my property lying there in plain sight. Will the villagers come back if we do this? I can't be absolutely certain. It's a devil's contract after all, but the villagers should return, at least most of them. Don't expect them to thank you, though. They're an ungrateful lot. Not you, young fellow, but your friends treated poor Dola, the herbalist, quite poorly, didn't they? We need to discuss this. Go on, I will leave you for a moment then. What do you think? It's an easy choice. We agree, we destroy the contract and everyone is happy. I'd love to get my body back. But what if it doesn't work that way? It's possible he is still a noble, and nobles do lie. Did you notice he realized I sneezed every time he lied? So he started choosing his words more carefully. And yet, it's so tempting. I could live again. I could walk on 2 legs. I could take a bath. Then we need to check the contract ourselves. Let's call Tadovsky. Oh, what's your answer then? Will you destroy the devil's contract? We'll see. But do you promise that if we do, you'll turn Mjolnir back to human? I promise. I give you a glimpse of my power. Come here, little cat. Tadovsky waved his hand, and Mjolnir unknowingly stepped forward. Suddenly, violent smoke appeared out of nowhere and surrounded the cat like a cocoon. Smoke swirled and stretched before something emerged from within. Oh my god, by the love of Vale, you actually did it. It's only for a day. It'll become permanent only if you destroy the contract by midnight. The inn is nearby, so it shouldn't be a problem for you. Okay. Astonished, the trio stepped outside after a brief farewell. Task seems very straightforward. Whatever their final decision, they need to get their hands on that devil's contract. Oh my, the magic made me dizzy. Aside from that, how do you feel? Strange. I keep stopping myself from licking my fur. I don't even have fur anymore. Good for you, man. You know, if you ever decide to settle down, my wife has a niece. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. They walked in silence for a short while. I can't wait to see my family again. I really hope this will work. Baba Yaga always warned me never to make deals with devils. It should, but she was right. Why? Because a devil will try to trick you. They might grant you a wish, but take your words literally. Dangerous business. And yet, Tchaikovsky decided to gamble. Judging by his workshop, it paid off. Slava, would you want that kind of power? Before long, they returned to the village, and soon after to the inn. Nothing had changed. The paper still overflowed the desk. The eerie atmosphere lingered. The frozen light no longer flickered, and the overwhelming smell of ash still hung heavily in the air. Slava stepped towards the table, her footstep muffled by the rich carpet beneath the feet. At least it's obvious now where from the smell was coming from. Apparently devil's magic smelled like ash. You're right. Okay, let's try this. Losum ipsum. In the middle of the desk, a dark parchment appeared, bearing 2 signatures and a wax seal. It appears to be working. What does it say? Slava reached for the document, but suddenly Uruntu appeared, sniffing the air around him. You reek of Tchaikovsky's magic. Are you his servants? Where is that bastard? Did you take the villagers? Of course, they're safe and sound in Narwia under a sleep spell. That's not good. You're right. What do you mean, Yomia? If they stay there too long, they might be trapped in Narwia forever, especially if they try to leave on their own. Unless you help me, then I'll make sure my Beepsies transport them back, right where they belong, in a matter of seconds. How can we trust you? I have more honor, darling, than your precious lord, that's why. Check for yourself. It's all in the contract. Baruntua gestured towards the contract, prompting Slava to read it out loud. I, Petra Tranovsky, son of... Check the section titled Liberties and Payments. The exchange of power, the payment shall be Tchaikovsky's soul. Ownership of the soul will transfer when Barutu, the Grand Devil, receives the contract in his hand. However, the original soul owner shall retain his life until the date of his death, determined by the goodness of fate. Continue. If any unforeseen circumstances arise, Uruntu shall confiscate the souls of the Winry villagers present in the village at the moment of signing as leverage and for the time necessary for Tchaikovsky to surrender both his soul and this contract to Baruntu, the Grand Devil. Great, but what does that mean? It means the villagers vanished because Tchaikovsky steal. So my family is gone because he wanted power? Never trust nobles. I'd agree. What does Vales think of your business? Don't you interfere with Vales matters? No, we have an agreement. These are trying times with the other faiths growing so strong. We've had to adapt, and I've found a way that suits us all. So why are you here? What do you want from us? It's elementary. I can't touch the contract as long as it's within the protective circle. Where? I don't see any. The bastard did it somewhere. Check the surroundings. Slavic quickly scanned the room. If the devil couldn't touch the contract lying on the table, the protective circle would have to be near it. As soon as she lifted the edge of the rock, she realized that she was right. A faint outline of the protective circle glimmered around with several protective symbols. Clever, isn't he? He thought he could outsmart me and escape the consequences of his actions. If you give me the contract, I'll return everyone safe and sound. And then I will think of a suitable punishment for Twardowski. What shall we do? Let's ask Murmia for advice. Murmia, what do you think? I don't know. If we help Twardowski, I'll stay human. I've wanted this for 10 years, and honestly, I can't be sure what Yaga will ever turn me back. But if we do, we risk that not everyone comes back. But there's still a chance they might. What shall we do? To ask Sambo for advice. Sambo, what do you think? I can't risk it. I need to be sure my family comes back. And what about the others? There's more children in the village. How could a 3-year-old find their way back from Nawir? As for Twardowski, this isn't what a real man would do. He needs to be held accountable and punished. But you won't do anything? No. I would hang if I harmed a noble, even with good reasons. I have people to live for. What shall we do? I think I know what to do. So, what is your decision? What should I do? Destroy the contract and risk everyone not returning? Or hand it over to Boruton, condemning Mjolnir to lose his freedom and become a cat once more? I'm gonna give the devil the contract. It seems to me like the noble tried to outsmart the devil, and the devil just wants to. Basically, it seems like the devil is still like lawful. He still works within a certain rule set, and the noble literally didn't care about the village at all. So I'm gonna give the contract to the devil, and sorry, but I guess that means that we're gonna have a cat again. I'll do the right thing. Slava wiped away the lines of the protecting circle, breaking it and handing the contract to Barunta. Good choice. You have my gratitude. No! Don't worry. You'll have until midnight to enjoy this form. Mjolnir, without a word, ran outside. I hope he'll be alright. I'll make it up to him. I owe him that much. Thank you. With a snap of his fingers, Baruntu summoned minor Bipsies, who quickly returned the missing villagers. The village came alive once more, and time resumed its course. Slava found Mjolnir on the edge of the village, sitting beneath a linden tree. Are you alright? I'm not, but I will be one day. You could have just... I don't know. I'll try to reason with Baba Yaga. She has to release you one day. You don't believe that? Maybe not, but I do. I still have to try. Yaga, my dear apprentice, you've done as I asked. You solved the problem of Winry Village all on your own. You helped the Grand Devil get his way. His gratitude can be a powerful asset, but use it only when you truly need it. With the contract in hand, Baruntu was finally able to capture Twardowski. Apparently, Twardowski now resides on the moon, as his powers only work on Earth. I must say, I admire Baruntu's creativity. The villagers returned safe and sound, and Barunta kept his word. With Twardowski gone, the innkeeper Jan has temporarily taken charge, at least until an heir appears. It seems he and Dola had a talk, and for now they've decided to set aside their differences. As for Sambo, He's happy with his family. His wife is expecting, and he's promised to name the newborn either Slava or Murmia. I only hope his wife agrees with that decision. As for our dear Murmia, he will remain in my service until I deem it time to release him. However, I will take your kind word into account, and perhaps, I may release him sooner. There is a little catch, though. The curse is what's keeping him alive. You didn't know that, did you, my apprentice? And as for you, my dear apprentice, you were quite direct. It has its charm. The approach will definitely work in some mountain village. Highlanders don't usually have time for games. But most importantly, you're past the trial and you have become a true witch. And that marks the end of this story. And there we have it. That is a very lovely little game. Yep, and that's the end of that. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope that I didn't butcher too many Slavic words as I was going through the story. And as always, I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave a like and a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this content, then be sure to subscribe for more just like it. Until next time, I've been Wazka, and you've been awesome, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.